Marco, first of all, congratulations for your show.
Thank you.
And very much welcome here in, let's say, your Benelux show.
Thank you.
In the Netherlands, in Bergen. We're very happy to have you here.
So thank you for showing my work. I'm very honored. And I was very pleased with the amazing turnout and the quality of the people that came.
Thank you.
Very impressed.
Right. I think what was nice to find out is that when we started talking about your paintings, and we were talking about the metaphor that is the soul that is in the paintings, that it was easy to communicate with the audience.
Very much, yes.
And that for you it was even easy to connect with the audience.
Yes, immediately. They all immediately understood what my world was about. And the type of question was very relevant to what my world is about.
Yeah.
They nailed in right away.
Yeah, because when we started talking about, you know, finally more or less you look at a dream and it makes you
dream as well.
Dream as well.
Yes.
They very much
connected.
They're really connected, and we're enthusiastic about it.
Yes. One interesting man asked me about the symbol of the apple.
Yes.
And I said the apple is an obvious metaphor of also, if you want, Adam and Eve, and how they, in my idea, Adam and Eve were not kicked out from the Eden, but they decide to go for to live, to go and go for the adventure of life, without knowing what the future was.
Could you try to deepen that a bit, because I think it's one of the magic elements of your painting.
Yes, well, the idea is that in the mystery of life, we tend to do always a step beyond what we know.
Yes.
And life is on that thin line between what we know and what we don't. And we always have to push that line further on. And he said, that's amazing, because I just read an article on Kierkegaard, and he said the same metaphor of life is that life is about pushing that threshold.
Yes.
Of what you know and what you don't know, and always pushing it further on. That's what my work is about, for me at least. It's my therapy is to always push it further on one step to where a world will be. And I hope, and we don't know what it's going to be. That's why it's always so foggy, because it's in the future.
Are you able, when you're working, to, let's say, live that rationally, or do you more or less experience the same as a lot of masters, that when you're working, that happens more or less in a kind of trance?
Yes, it's in a kind of total trance.
Yes.
When you finally are painting, you know you're painting is when you forget you are painting.
Yes.
And then the day after you go to the studio, you say, did I paint?
Yeah.
Do I know how to paint like this?
Yes.
I don't know how to paint like this. Some other creature came inside of me and made me do this. Because I don't have the ability, the mastery for this. But it happens.
I think this is absolutely something I'd like to add for the audience that might look to this film. This is, I think, the heart of what we do here. This is the heart of the obsession of art. It is the obsession, it is the magic, it is the energy that we're not able to really think about.
Yes.
It happens.
It happens. It happens. It occurs. What I like to think also is that the paintings, for me, and I would like that it would happen to the audience too, is that it's like a vibraphone. It gives you the tone to then go into that world. It's like ding, and lets you in. It opens that door.
That's right. Okay, you were talking about you being 10.
Yes. And
working with your father.
Yes.
How would you describe the relation when you were 10?
It was very nurturing and also very difficult, in the sense that art was never taken as a toy or something just fun to do. It had to always bring a piece of your soul. It was something serious. And I, through this, created my own philosophy that to enter someone's work, it had to be an effort from the viewer. It could not be easily taken. It could not be a fax that you can send to. It has to be a relation that you build with whatever you look at. And that's, I think, I also learned because my father always took me to museum shows, and all the work I always liked were the most difficult to actually approach at first. So I always try to take out what in Italian is called ruffiano, means almost brown nose.
Yeah.
You try always to take out the obvious attraction and find another level of attraction.
If you would translate that to, let's say, specific values of your father related to the work, what kind of values are we talking about?
My father taught me that it has to be a lifetime mission, art, and you don't want to eat your meal all in one bite. So you want to slowly grow, make it grow with you, and it has to be a parallel growth, you and your work. It's back and forth. You give to your artwork will give back.
Right.
So it's a slow process, and a very strong commitment. My father, I've never seen someone so committed in art as my father. He spent all his life in the studio. Never ever left the studio. His studio is in his house. He lives in the Chianti, isolated, and he never leaves the studio, ever.
But if you say it that way, it means that it's a kind of falling in love.
Yes.
In a step-by-step way,
yes,
discovering values that you mentioned, values.
Yes.
But then, that might be the case, that this is the way you create,
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Because, you know, your impact is a step-by-step type of impact.
Yes, totally. Totally. I never start the painting knowing exactly what the painting is going to look like. I let the painting tell me where to go. And then I push it a bit, and the painting says, okay, I can go that way.
Right.
And then the painting brings me with it. And it's a journey together. It has to be it's like a love relationship. You get and you give. If you give, you get. If you don't give, you don't get.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah.
That's a one-liner that we use here very often. You know, you get what you give.
Yeah.
Start giving.
And I think it's the only relationship, love and making art, where the more you give, the more you get back. It's not like money. If you give 10 euros, you don't have 10 euros. If you give in art 10 euros, you get 15.
Yeah.
It means you have 15.
Yeah.
And in love is the same. I mean, if you give 10 euros, you have 10 euros.
Now, how do you, if you, let's say, of course you see when your audience is confronted with your paintings, you must be able to more or less see that they need a kind of process.
Yes, they need a key to open. Yes.
Exactly, they need to more or less
it's not
open
so
them.
easy. Yes.
No, how do you feel that?
I don't know. I think it's because in the contemporary art world, there has to be a mystery always about the art. It can't be just about beauty. It can't be just an easy message of a chocolate box. In order to be an artist in my time, there has to be a difficulty about artwork to be considered contemporary. It cannot just be, as an impressionist, just water lilies. You have to work for it. That's my idea. I don't know if it's right, but in my idea of contemporary artwork, it cannot be just about beauty. It also has to be about knowledge and a bit also about suffering, and it also has to bring a more deeper message that is not just about viewing it and feeling good. It has to step in a bit. So in order to step in further into the viewer has to give up with the key.
Yeah. But what normally would you say then to people that as you know, people right now, nowadays, they rationalize, they're living in a rushing world. They have to take decisions time after time, the number of information that comes into them. So
I would say slow down.
Slow down.
Slow down. Live your life. Stop.
Is that what you more or less do with
Yes,
paintings?
yes, that's what I do. To live now, you cannot think of what you're going to do in 5 minutes. If you're going to live now, you have to live now. You can not think of what you did before and what you need to do tomorrow. You have to live today, in this very moment. And in our days, we're always thinking of the next step. Okay, I'm in the car, but I'm only in the car because I'm going somewhere. So this time that I spent at the car, I'm not living. I'm waiting to get to a place. Where I think, if you're going from your house to your office, that hour you spent in the traffic jam, you have to live it.
Yeah.
It's not just about moving it, your body. Your soul is there with you. And you always have to nurture it and make it open world with your senses, looking, smelling, listening to music, and being alive, basically.
But it means, Marco, at the same time that you have to accept that people rushing into a gallery as part of a daily day planning, rushing in and rushing out because they only react on the trivial impact.
Yes.
You have to accept.
Well, I do put, I think, sometimes something that attracts.
Yeah.
I always have a focus point that catches your eye. I think I do that. I don't know if it's successful, but that's my intention. Is to always have some color, something that's very focused, that seems like it's almost coming out of the canvas, because it's so catchy. Then the rest, once your eye is caught, then the rest can slowly
Is
grow.
that you shouting like a traffic light saying...
Yes, exactly.
Others would like to more or less suggest to people confronted with your art. Is there anything you would like to, let's say, advise them, which sounds maybe, but...
Well, yes, I would advise them to take the time and to finish my paintings. My paintings always have a feeling of non-finished, because I want the viewer or the person that buys the painting, that puts it in front of their dinner table, whatever, I want them to give them at least an hour a day to the painting and see over the surface. The painting grows. The painting has many layers, has more images than what is obvious. It has a conceptual work, it's got an abstract work in it, it's got hidden figures, it's got a hidden world that you have to slowly pull out. And the reason I do that is because I wanted you to pull it out. It's like the difference between a book and a movie. In a book, you make the movie. And in a movie, it's all right there in front of you. I think of my paintings as books, not...
But could you give more or less people a hand? Because if you say, I want you to finish my painting, I can't imagine that a hell of a lot of people say,
oh, I don't need to do that.
No, but I don't understand. What does he mean, for God's sake?
Yes.
Could you give them a hand to help them into the painting?
Yes, try to think of yourself coming back from a long day of work and making sense of your life. And if you look at my painting, you can start saying, well, there is a reason why I go to work every day. There is a reason why I get up every day. It's because I'm alive and I need to be. And the key to look at my paintings is to identify with one object and then slowly place it in your world. Let's say the vase is the same vase that your grandmother had. And then you slowly rebuild your grandmother's house, or you slowly rebuild your living room. And with your memories, you fill in the empty spots, and you make the rest of the painting with what your experience, what your baggage of images and feelings are.
I think this is absolutely well done for somebody who is, normally working in trance, able to really give people a hand and help them into. absolutely great.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for this interview.
Thank you.
Congratulations again
Thank
with
you.
a great show.
Thank you. Congratulations
wonderful
for the
work.
quality of the people you invite and for the quality of the gallery and the seriousness that you've shown.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.